today is May 15th. Day is the day that marks the first month of my dad's passing. And so today is Sunday. I'm headed to church right now. Headed to church. Church is where I get my encouragement, my hope, the things that I need to move forward in my week. I just know that with things happening, and my dad's death has not been the only thing that I have been going through, and I just need a little hope for tomorrow, if that makes sense. I need hope for my tomorrow, for my next month, for my next year. We just never know when we are going to be impacted by losing something that we actually care about and love. And it's a difference between losing something that you want back versus losing something that you don't want back. And so I am just thankful today. I was not awakened, but when I woke up, I already had a text from someone who, very thoughtful, sent a note saying, I know it's been a month since your dad's passing, and I'm just thinking of you today. And that means so much. It means that someone is paying attention. And I appreciate everyone who in their capacity has really been there for me this past month. When it first happened, I'll just give you a quick rundown. When it first happened, the feelings that I felt were shock and guilt and sorrow. And I felt like I missed a chance. I didn't get a chance. I missed an opportunity. And that weighed heavily on me the first couple of weeks, and it still is, but it was heavy the first couple of weeks because I was sad and sorrowful that I felt like I wasn't there for my dad. I felt like I was not there for him when I could have been more intentional. And there were so much other stuff that was going on in my life at that particular moment to where I felt it pulled away from my intentionality of my father. And I felt number one, I really didn't know what was going on with him. I knew what was going on, but to what he was going into a surgery and all of that, I was I did not even know. And so I really had in my mind, okay, well, he's going into surgery, I know it's going to go well, or not even I know it's going to go well, but I didn't think that death would come out of the surgery. And so I was okay, well, I'm going to talk to him because it's Easter weekend coming up, so I'm going to talk to him and everything. And that was in the back of my mind. And I felt when I got the call, it was at 4 o'clock in the morning, and when I answered the call, because I saw my dad's name, it was my dad's phone that was calling me, and I was why is he calling me so early in the morning? But maybe he was up or whatever. But when I answered the call and I heard my stepmom wailing and crying in the back, I said no. I said no. So I felt like the chance was ripped out of my hands. And I felt so guilty and so, I don't even know what you call it, but guilt was there, sorrowful was there. Felt like I was not a good daughter. It was all of that, I felt. And so I heard stories well, I have to do this business. It's a business part. And I guess I'll grieve later. And so I had to start, and, my family, we got the ball rolling for this and this. And I took on the task of doing everybody had played their part. I took on the task of doing the programs and the obituary and the life and legacy, and doing that for my family. And so from then, I just started having days. I told somebody, like, I'm feeling like I'm going on, but a piece of me is missing. And that's the feeling that I had. Like, I'm going on with life, but I'm going on with, it's like something missing. You know how you taste something and you're like, something's missing. Like, something's missing from it. So that's how I felt. Like I was just going on with just like moving forward or living life, but just a piece of me. And so I was like, okay. And so I've had so many people like send cards and stuff, and like the things like bracelets. There was a picture of me and my dad on a pillow, like a sequence pillow. And so I was, you know, I had these things up, and I'm just looking at him like, oh my gosh, like I now have memorabilia of my dad. Like, because I'm not going to see his face, I'm not going to hear his voice anymore, and that's sad. I got a voicemail, I got videos, but it, of course, is not the same thing. During my first month as well, I believe that I received signs from him and from God saying that he is okay. I am so grateful that my uncle, who shared some of like his last year conversations with my dad, I really believe that God took his spirit. And that makes me feel so much better to know that he's with God. Like, I have a personal relationship with God. So I'm like, God, tell my dad, you know, I miss him and I love him. After his passing, I started seeing like a red cardinal in my yard. And it's so crazy because God, I don't know, I said this planting season, I'm going to like be very naturey and everything. So me and my daughter, we said that we was going to do a bird feeder, and that, you know, we was going to plant flowers that attract like hummingbirds and, you know, butterflies and stuff. Because I was like, yeah, we're going to do that. So I said, well, wow, like what a coincidence now that my dad has passed and we, you know, have a garden that we can nurture. And with the bird feeder, I was like, well, maybe, you know, maybe he'll come, maybe he won't, because I don't know what type of seeds is in this bird mix. And so a week later, I started seeing a red cardinal in my yard. And the first time that I saw it, I was on the phone with my sister, and I was sharing some things with her that was bothering me. And lo and behold, this bird came up for 3 minutes, sat on my fence, was in my yard, and flew off. And I said, oh my gosh, like I have never seen a red bird in my neighborhood. And here is this red cardinal, which I believe is one of, you know, the messengers that God sends just to let everything know, to calm my heart and to know that everything is okay. So I've seen this red bird, and it's actually 2 of them that come in my yard every day. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't, but they do come in my yard every day. There have been things that, you know, I felt like, I really don't, like, I believe in God, but I know that there are signs and things. And one of the things was the last voicemail that he left me. And on my iPhone, there's a transcription. It transcribes the voicemails, basically. And so my dad was saying stuff. And in the voicemail, he said, I'll talk to you later, I guess. But the transcription did not pull that. It put, I'll talk to you later, I love you. And I was looking at that, and I was like, he didn't say that, but he did. And it made me very appreciative that I needed that. And that was a sign that everything is okay. And so I'm moving forward, and there are other signs. There was like a clear blue out the day. I was talking with a counselor, and like the power just went off. and then it came back on. Sorry, had to take a pause, had to go into church. I was already late. But that was a sign. That transcription was definitely a sign. Even when I told my sisters that, they was like, yeah, that's pretty, because normally, I mean, transcriptions are normally transcriptions will give you what it thinks it heard, right? And so sometimes, like, if you are not talking like clear, it will think that it's saying something. But the whole transcription was correct, but those last 2 words, and it just helped me, because I did not want to leave or live a life of regret. And I regretted a lot of stuff that happened, that transpired that week of my dad's death, leading up to everything. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I guess the Lord knows, or knew, what I needed. And he plants those things, and he put hope in my heart because of those things, for those transcriptions, for even the weird things. Like one day I was it was the second week, and I was coming out the shower, and this kind of spooked me at the same time. I was coming out the shower, my phone was on the charger when I got into the shower. When I came out the shower, my I have this app. It's a meditation app, and when you open it, it plays like streaming water. So anytime, like, you open this app, just like if you open Calm, if anybody has the Calm app, it opens like a nice naturey soundscape in the background. And so when I got out of the shower, I heard that water from the meditation app. And I think that when I went to the meditation, it was a meditation on, like, living life without regrets, or something was in that message. And I was like, well, wow, I needed this. But it also spooked me, because I'm like, you know, my phone was off, everything was off. I didn't like play that app in a while. So it kind of spooked me. But you know, it's just signs that I had to literally open my eyes to see. So today I'm good. I got encouragement, like I said, at church today, that allows me just encouragement for the week. And, but I do have moments. My moments are normally at night, when I'm like, you know, by myself and, you know, walking around the house. I get really anxious at night. A lot of stuff happened, according to my dad, well, with my dad's death at night. Like, I felt like, when he called me, like 2 days before, I was asleep and I was on a do not disturb mode. And I was like, dang, like I shouldn't have put my phone on do not disturb, because I've been having trouble with sleep. And so, I get really anxious at night, because I'm like, man, I don't want to miss nobody else's call. It's a lot that goes into my thinking. So at night is when normally I kind of get, anxious and get, looking at my dad's pillow or all of that. I'm just like, So, that has been my first month. I know it is a journey, but it is a different one nonetheless. And, but I do miss him. I miss my dad. And anytime that I felt, it's so crazy, anytime that I felt this and this like, man, I miss him. Like, I will look out the window and the cardinal will be in the yard already, or coming to the yard, or just leaving the yard. And it just gives me a sign that my dad's thinking of me. He's okay. And that he hears me and that he loves me. And I have to go by that. I don't have anything else but memories now. And I have to go by that. I have to go by a hope. So,